everybody, this is Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. You're listening to American Hearts Radio.
Entertainment on the planet.
Are you looking for a great night out? Are you in the Atlanta, Georgia area? Are you looking to check out some live, awesome music during the week? They have keynote, poker tournaments, horseshoes, and special events. It's all at the Moon Shadow Tavern. That's at 3976 Lawrenceville Highway in Tucker, Georgia. That's the Moon Shadow Tavern. Give them a call, 770-674-2133. Check out their selection of great food, friendly service. Visit their website at msttucker.com. That's www.msttucker.com. Moon Shadow Tavern is a proud sponsor of the Chris Massey Web TV music show on www.americanheartsradio.com. Make sure you told them that American Hearts Radio sent you. Visit their website, check out their great selection of food, appetizers, wings, burgers, sandwiches and wraps, steaks and chicken, salads and sides. Also their drink specials. Live music during the week. Check them out. Give them a call, 770-674-2133.
Hey everybody, this is Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. You're listening to America Hearts Radio. Want to be a big supporter of our troops and their family, and American Hearts Radio is too, so support them. Want to wish Bo Bergdahl welcome home to the United States of America. Welcome home, Bo. God bless everybody, and God bless the USA. Free birds!
Well, I sat in there fishing beside that old log when a bass jumped out of the water and ate my old dog. I kept on fishing, I had nothing better to do. Wouldn't have to bury the old dog, and I sure would miss him too. Well, out of the water come that bass again and grabbed me by the leg and pulled me in. We were sinking to the depths of that fishing hole. I was beating him in the head with my fishing pole. Well, I broke loose and was swimming free, and the bass came up underneath and bit me on the knee. I let out a cry to the fishing god. I said, listen, hooey, listen what I say. I'll never lie again about the big one that got away, the big bass. How y'all doing today? Old school, Gene's old school. I'm gonna teach y'all some old school. Hey, you see this? Westside University. That's where us old Skinner guys graduated from, and old school Jacksonville people. And on the back of this thing, you can see, got this poem on the back of it, Westside. So where beer's king and the music is grand, country music and southern rock. Old country is the best damn place throughout the land, where southern rock was bred and born, where most folks' clothes are withered and torn, where all the streets are paved with skin and hair, on a side of town where few men dare, where the girls are pretty and the ladies fine, where a free bird flies from time to time, where the bars are filled with laughs and chuckles to graduate in life with black eyes and swollen knuckles. The West Side, that's what we came from. Old school, no tap out, carry 'em out. On this episode today, we're gonna go back to the 50s, 40s and 50s, when we were little boys on the West Side. Me and Ronnie, as y'all know, we grew up as little boys up until 29-year-old men. 29-year-old boys, actually. And We went to, elementary school, like I said earlier, back sometime, and then good Lord, it was in the 60s when Jacksonville incorporated with the county. So the whole county of Duval became the city of Jacksonville. Consolidated, that's what it was called. And then Woodcrest Road separated the district. And Ronnie went to Ramona, and I stayed at Lakeshore at Hyde Park Elementary School. But we were still a block apart. And, I was going to school, and like I said sometime before too, the hardest 3 years of my life was the 3rd grade, and I kind of got back a little bit, laid back, whatever you want to call it, but school wasn't my best subject back in the young days. And then when I got up to junior high school, and in junior high school, I went to Lake Shore, and Ronnie went to, what was it? Good Lord, I've lost my memory here. John Gorey. Yeah, John Gorey. And then he went to Ramona Elementary School. Then he went on to Lee High School, where he left Lee High School about Tammy was born in 67, July, I think, 67. So Ronnie got out of school probably around 66-ish, I guess. Right around the time that he was born. I mean, Tammy was born, say, in July. He went to work. Nadine got married, and Tammy was born. But anyway, I'm going to go back to elementary school. Oh, Lord have mercy, this is in the late 50s. Hyde Park. 7th, 8th, 9th. Anyway, from the 1st up to the 5th grade. 6th grade, Hyde Park. And that's when I first met Bob Burns. Me and Bob was in our class together in the 5th and 6th grade. And of course Bob wasn't with the band then, and Bob didn't know Ronnie at that time. And so we run down to the, good Lord, let me get rid of this right quick, like. It's the VA, hold on. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Odom, yes. Mail it. That way it'll get there faster, probably, than it'll be picking it up. Okay, today's Friday, yeah, because that way I'm up in Jacksonville right now doing an interview, so I'll just mail it to me and I'll get it on Monday. Thank you, ma'am. Good news with the VA. They're going to make me a new artificial eye, and they give me some staff. But anyway, hey, just throwing it in there. And me and Bob, like I said, me and Bob grew up together. We was in elementary school, and we were good friends, me and Bob. And then later on, junior high school, we were playing ball out on the same park, Hyde Park Field, out there where Tim Tebow came from, and we had got up into high school, junior high school, then junior high, playing for the city ball, whatever, in different ball teams. And Ronnie hit a line drive, and Bob Burns was on third base, and Ronnie hit Bob actually in the shoulder area with the ball, knocked Bob down. And Ronnie, we run over there. Ronnie runs over there, and Ronnie's apologizing. Bob's kind of laughing and giggling, and this Bob Burns' name came up. And Ronnie said, "Bob, Bob Burns, you play drums?" And Bob said, "Yes." So Ronnie invited Bob to come join the band. And so then it was Ronnie and Gary, and I think Larry Johnston was then the third one, and then Bob Burns, and then Alan Collins was the fifth one. We kidnapped him off the mound. I'll tell you about that later. And so school, West Side, you know, there was, you know, fighting and ranting and raving and, you know, being boys and so forth and so on. And like I said, I went on into 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Did real good there, and was thinking about going on maybe being a doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor, but then I passed from the 8th to the 9th grade. Had pretty good grades for a country boy, and there was two other guys with me, a fellow named Norbert Burleson and Dave Hollingsworth. I'll never forget this as long as I live. This was about 65, I guess. And we got into the 9th grade, started the classes and everything, and the principal come in, sent somebody down to get us 3 boys, took us down to his office and said that he took us out of school because we averaged 2.5 years older than the average 9th grade student. So he took us out of school because of our age. And I went to work, you know, about 1965. Went to work and started just fiddling around. And Ronnie was in Lee at that time, and going to school. And like I told y'all before, that first he thought he wanted to be a boxer until he got his ears boxed by Estes, and then he wanted to play football for Lee. He wanted to be a running back. Green Bay Packers was his team then, and he wanted to be a big running back. And they practiced a couple times. They were going to play a scrimmage game, and Ronnie got the ball first play from scrimmage. He got tackled and broke his ankle. They put a couple pins in it, so that made him 4F. He wasn't eligible for the draft anymore because he had pins in his leg. And everybody else was 4A. Ronnie was a 4F. I took him out of the draft. And he went to work for his brother-in-law, Bill Morris, and had an auto supply place, Morris Auto Supply. And I ironworked and welded and ironworked, and, you know, and laid off and got whatever, and time and time again. And Ronnie got me to work for Bill Morris, and this was in '69. I was delivering parts, and Ronnie was a counter guy. And it's all true. They said Ronnie Van Zant don't have to write nothing down. He can remember part numbers. I mean, somebody come in and ask for parts, Ronnie say, "Hey, you get you know what?" And he doesn't look in the book or nothing. And so Bill opened up a second store over for Beach Boulevard and University. No, Morris Auto Supply. So he sent Ronnie over there as manager and me as the parts runner. First day over there on the job, the little Volkswagen Bug parts thing. I ran down. I speed shifted that thing and it stuck in second gear, wouldn't come out. So I got the part delivered, called Ronnie, told him, I said, man, this thing broke down. So they got it towed and got it fixed. And he said, only Gene Odom come to work the first day and cost the company $125 to get it fixed. But I never did tell him I was speed shifting. I just told him he got stuck in gear. But anyway, he was a manager. And somebody come, like I said, asked for parts, whatever, and his mind was just, he remembered all the numbers. He remembered, you know, most of them. He couldn't remember them all, of course, but the numbers, the parts that everybody come in to get all the time. You know, back then there was simple points, plugs, condenser, rotary button, and rotary cap. That was basically your tune-up. And he could just Dodge, Chrysler, he could just pop them names off. And when he became into got successful in the music and writing songs and stuff like that, and the story goes that they're writing songs, he never would write nothing down, and he'd remember it. You know. And Alan and Gary, you know, playing them notes and stuff, and Alan Collins had notes that nobody ever heard of. He made notes and he made things, but and just to remember all those things, the musician has a way of making his mind a memory object, you know. back at the elementary school of Hyde Park when me and Bob Burns growing up. We were out playing ball, messing around, fiddling around, and there was a little bully kid. A bully, you know, everybody would be bullied. He bullied everybody except Gino. And I came up there, I was late one day coming in there, and Bob came up to me Bob about ready to cry. And this guy had done bullied everybody around, and they were about tired of it. And I was about tired of hearing about the bully. So I just went up to the little bully and bitch slapped him a couple times and roughed him up and took his bicycle, and I climbed the telephone pole with his bicycle, and I hung his bicycle on top of the telephone pole, and I climbed back down. He was crying, the big old bully was crying, and he went home. So the next day, we were out there playing ball, me and Bob, and you know, all the other boys. Here comes the boy with his mama out there, and I figured I was going to have to rub him up again, you know, and his mama said, if I'd go get his bicycle down off the top of that pole, she'd give me $10. So I climbed the pole, got the boy's bicycle. The bully brought his bicycle down and gave him his bicycle back, and his bullying days were over. From then on, he was one of the boys, one of the kids. But that's how me and Bob Burns became really, you know, friends in elementary, and then Ronnie, you know, and Bob mixing up, you know, playing with drums, and they didn't have Alan quite yet, and Bob had a carport, and Bob Burns' carport right there at Alicia and Hyde Park Road is where they first struck up their first rehearsing notes in Bob Burns' carport on the west side. And then Bob's, the family and the neighbors, you know, bitch him on about that a little bit, but then they went around the corner to where Larry Johnstrom lived and rehearsed in Larry Johnstrom's place. But the Alan Collins story, he wasn't quite, he'd heard about Ronnie and Ruffin, you know, Ronnie was a little scrapper himself and everything. And it may have been Gary and Ronnie riding down the road one day, and they saw Alan riding his bicycle, and they tried to get him to come over, and Alan threw his bicycle down and run. He was scared of Ronnie. And so the very next day I was coming home from work, because I don't know if I was married then or not, but I was working. I had to go to work when I was about 3 years old. And they were playing out in front of J.R. Rice's house. J.R. had a lot across from his house, and J.R. had a band called the Mods, and Alan was playing in the Mods. And they were playing ball as I came by, and Alan was pitching. So I went to Ronnie's house, and there was Bob, and they were there, you know, carrying on and talking. They needed a guitar player, and I said, Alan Collins is playing ball down at J.R.'s house. So, and Ronnie said, well, let's go get him. I said, come on, we'll go get him. So Alan's up there on the mountain pitching. We just pull up there and run his Mustang and slide up there, and we go up and grab Alan and tell all the other guys that, hey, he's coming with these guys. He's playing with this band. And My Backyard, I think, was the first name they're going to call herself. And that's how Alan Collins became a part of Ronnie Van Zant, Gary Rosington, Bob Burns, Larry Johnstrom, and Alan Collins. That was the nucleus of the Leonard Skinner, of what's left of it today with Gary Rosington. And we still got time? We didn't run out of time yet? We got time?
Yeah, 9 minutes.
9 minutes, okay, great. And so that was the nucleus of the Skinner coming together. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was, I'm gonna do a t-shirt one day. It was My Backyard. Was your first name. I'm not sure they took the Devil's Disciples name. I'm gonna hold that one back. My Backyard. The Noble Five. The Pretty Ones, 1%, and then Leonard Skinner was the names that they chose as they started out as the 5 nucleus members. And that's how that came about. And play a little, like, you know, they wasn't Gary and Alan, and I don't think Bob Burns might have been, but I don't think Gary and Alan, maybe Bob, wasn't old enough to play in bars. And when they got a little bar gig, they had to get permission from their mother and daddy, and then permission from the bar that they could go in there and play music. And I think you might have had to get something from the county back then, or a permit or something, because I know you had to get permission from your parents for an underage musician to be in the bar playing. And I went to several of them things, and with them, and they couldn't drink, and I'm sure that rehearsal studios, they did a little nipping, but in the bar they were kind of watched. They couldn't drink until they got to come up into age. And that's how the West Side got the Leonard Skinner fever. Or Leonard Skinner got the West Side fever, and that's how it started. And me and Ronnie, and the lyrics to the song, I was told by Ronnie that Curtis Lowe, I used to wake the morning before the rooster crowed, searching for soda bottles to get myself some dough. It was written about me because I was the one that picked up the Coke bottles and stuff, and so I picked up bottles in the ditches and go down there, and Lacey had Ronnie's daddy. About 1965, I think, he had a semi-truck driver, and he owned a semi, and he drove his own truck, and was going a lot driving the truck, and they made good money or whatever. And so the Van Zants would not take the bottles to the store. Early on it was 2 cents deposit, and then it went from 2 cents to a nickel deposit on the bottles. And they would buy cold drinks, come down there, the girls, and Ronnie and Donnie and Johnny, Marlene and Darlene, and they would go back, when they finished the drinks or whatever, they put them in the backyard. There was tubs of Coke bottles. And when I couldn't find any bottles in the ditches, I just sneaked down behind Van Zant's house and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Coke bottles, and I'd go down to Claude's Midway Grocery, Curtis Lowe's store, and cash them bottles in, get an RC Cola and a Moon Pie. And we all drank back then RC Colas and Moon Pies. And we didn't drink the Moon Pie, we ate the Moon Pies. But anyway, Ronnie didn't mind, and the Van Zants didn't mind. Lacey, he might, not like you taking the bottles out, but I mean, they just had the backyards full of bottles. And so that's how, when I couldn't find any bottles, the Van Zants fed me on Moon Pies and RCs with the Coke bottles. And I went through them ditches on the west side, Mull Street, Orton Street, Pangola Drive, which we lived on at the time. Ronnie's address back then was on Mull Street till Lacey changed the house around, and then the address became from Mull Street to Woodcrest, 5419. And so back then the ditches were deeper before they put culverts and pipes in. I spent many days, evenings, mornings, picking up his soda bottles and cashing them in, get myself some dough. And then early on, after I got out of school, was taken out of school, I worked at Claude's store, sorting out bottles, putting the Pepsis in the Pepsis, RCs and RCs, Cokes and Cokes, and back then Sunburst or whatever, and then sweeping, and I'd make a couple of dollars, working around the store. And Claude taught me how to cut. It was called Midway Meats, was the name of the stores back then. And it went to Woodcrest Grocery. But he sold meat, chicken, ham, and steak and whatever. He cut his own meat. And Claude taught me how to cut chickens, and to cut up steaks, and to cut meat, and to chop meat, and to make chopped steak, and whatever. I about forgot it all in years, but I was a pretty good meat cutter. Probably a better bottle sorter, but that's old school. Ronnie Van Zant, Gene Odom right there, and I kind of miss those days. And we still got a few more minutes.
Got 4 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. And we lived on Mull Street, right down from Ronnie's house, 2 or 3 houses on Mull Street, at the grandmother's house. And then Daddy got a job at the shipyard, And so, for some reason or whatever, we moved over to Pangola Drive, right under the Matthews Bridge. 711 Liberty, 711 Pangola Drive, Pangola. And no, Pangola is where we lived over here. Parker Street, right under the Matthews Bridge, 711 Parker Street, right down from the church, which became a halfway house. And we stayed there about a year. And then when they were starting to build the expressway, they were selling a lot of houses around through the Jacksonville area. Daddy bought a house, and we had an uncle that moved houses, and moved the house to Pangola Drive, the street west of Mall Street. So we went from here, Ronnie's house was here, we went from here to here. We moved back the next year. And so that was, Lord have mercy, that was in the 50s. The 50s. I thought like they were yesterday. But then I was bigger then, and me and Ronnie were bigger, and riding bicycles and fishing and carrying on. And Ronnie was, when I was working at Claude's store, Ronnie had got him he was bagging groceries on Normandy Boulevard, a place that was called Pantry Pride. It's like Winn-Dixie now, or whatever the big stores are. He was bagging groceries. And Sister and Lacey bought him a Corvair, early model 60 Corvair. But Ronnie Van Zant wasn't old enough to get his driver's license. You had to be 16. And so Sister Lacey goes down to the vital statistics and tells him, my son Ronald Wayne Van Zant was born January 15, 1948. We need a birth certificate. So they got a legal birth certificate. He was born in the hospital, whatever, you know, and we made him 16. And so Ronnie Van Zant got his driver's license. And so he's actually, on paper, legally, he's 16. But he was born a year later. But that don't make no difference now. He got his driver's license. But he didn't like that Corvair. That wasn't cool. Ronnie Van Zant was cool, you know, a musician. 1 minute. He was cool. So 1964, Mustang came out in 64 and a half. The original 1965 Mustang was called a 64 and a half. Ronnie got one. It was red. It didn't stay red long because he wrecked it and he painted it black. And he got that 1965 Mustang, which came out 64 and a half, and he was cool. And we rode around in this Mustang. And that's what he took his wife and daughter around in when Tammy was born. We run out of time, and I cut loose. And that's the West Side story, but we're going to add on to this on the next episode. So y'all have a nice day, and we're done.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm great.
Yes.
You going to get in here?
Yes, hello, this is Irenas Mohammed Baba, the redneck Muslim, with my friend Mr. Gene Odom. Hello, Gene. Yes, I love your show. It's Old School with Gene Odom, and that's a Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Make sure you tune in and tell all your friends.
He is not from the West Side.
Yes, I am.
Maybe the West Side
He's
of Baghdad.
from the far east
Yes.
side, on the west side.
I am on the west side, the best side.
Oh, the West Side, the best side. No.
Yes.
He's on the west side of the far east side.
Yes.
He's from the West Side of Baghdad.
Baghdad. Goodbye, everybody.
See y'all next time.
And this is Gene Odom. Tell us who you are, Gene.
Gene Odom, the one and only. Can you? It picks up audio too?
Everything. Video.
Technology is amazing.
So what'd you think of the show tonight?
It's great.
Well, I want the true story about what Artemis said.
And Artemis says that Ronnie Van Zant got up, walked in the back of the plane, gave me a big hippie handshake. Bullshit. Ronnie Van Zant was on the floor, grogged out. I got him up 3 seconds before he died, shoved him between Alan and Gary, put the pillow in his lap, put his head down. He said, man, don't be fucking with me, I got it. And I slapped him. And about the time I slapped him, somebody said, trees. And then I tried to run, and bam, hit the ground. Ronnie Van Zant, if he went in the back of the plane, he'd be alive today.
So he wasn't at the back of the plane. He was at the front.
At at the front.
He hit a tree.
I'll show you where he's at. The plane, looking down at the plane. Something similar to this. Okay. You had
Pilot, co-pilot.
You had the cockpit. Pilot, co-pilot.
Both them guys.
Behind them, on this side, was some instruments, then the bathroom, and then this was some instruments in the galley, a sink. Then there was a bulkhead with a door here. On this side was a couch, had a little, it was kind of like that. Might not be that size. And over here was 2 first-class seats and a little, about a 2x2 table, 18 by 18 inch table. Steve was here. Dean Kilpatrick was here.
Neil, yeah, Kilpatrick was right. Yeah.
Dean.
Dean.
All right,
Dean and Neil.
at the
Dean and
time-
Steve are right there.
All right, at the time, who's telling the story? Me or you?
You are.
At the time, Gary was here, Alan was here, Kevin Nelson, the sound guy, was here. Behind that was 2 airplane seats. 2 airplane seats, all right? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Back here, on this side of the plane was 2 airplane seats, and about a 3x3 table where we played poker. On this side of the plane was 2 seats like Steve and Dean was in here, with a table in between them. Ron Eckerman, Craig Reed was here. I would always sit in one of these seats playing poker. And you couldn't lay down across these 2 seats. And Ronnie had taken 2 sleeping pills because he got one of the girls because he'd been up the night before all night.
Banging, yeah.
And, he said, he slept away from me. He said, you do it. I said, I'm gonna be this is gonna be hard to do on this end of it. He said, but you're okay. So he said, man, I need to get some sleep. So I said, all right. So, but this couch being here, you only had so much room to walk between the seats. 1 person, 1 aisle. If he laid down right here on the floor, under their feet, people could walk through here and go to the galley back and forth and not bump into him. So he laid down on that floor, put a pillow on it, and he went sound asleep, rolled out. And Steve and Dean was here. I would sit back here, but when this engine started fucking up and sputtering and running out of gas, I run up to the cockpit, and going on, and they were talking to Houston, trying to find vectors back to Macomb, the nearest airport. And then they said, "You having fuel?" Yeah. I said, "No, we're not out of fuel." So the engines would pick up some fuel and run. They said, we're trying to switch fuel tanks. We don't know what's going on. So Houston would say, "Are you low on fuel or are you out of fuel?" So at that time, the engine would quit, and when the engine would actually pick up fuel, it would spin the plane sideways.
Dang, I don't want my phone.
Because of the torque of the horrible nightmare. So as I was going up there talking with him, the plane was, doing this, circling around there. The last time I went up there, because I got everybody strapped in, Ronnie was still on the floor. He was all down, one and 2 sleeping bags. I went back to the pilot's house. I hope you 2 son of bitches live to this so I can kill both of you. But then as I seen that, the plane did this. Lost its airspeed. And I seen the ground coming up so quick, I just grabbed Ronnie, snatched him off the floor. I said, "Get up, man, the plane's crashing." He said, "Don't be fucking with me, man, I gotta get some sleep." I shoved him between Alan and Gary. I grabbed the pillow, I said, put your head in. He said, "Come back up." He says, "Man, don't be fucking with me, I gotta get some sleep." I said, "Ronnie, the plane's gonna..." So I slapped him. If you ever slapped Ronnie Van Zant, you in for a fight. So I had him strapped in tight. I said, "The fucking plane's crashing." About the time I said that, somebody hollered trees, and it started hitting me. And so I tried to run, but I was actually trying to run. I didn't realize it. I was actually trying to run uphill at a 52-degree angle because the plane was coming in like that. And so when it crashed and hit the trees back here, it topped these trees out right here. The next trees it hit, it cut them in half. These next trees, it hit the bottom of them big old Mississippi pines, and they didn't move. So it crushed all of this back to here and ripped this apart right here. It was ripped apart.
Fuselage, yeah.
Yeah, and about this section, about from here, about from there to here. No, excuse me. This about this right here, right behind the seats, right in front of the seats. This force of all of this metal, 68,000 pounds, empty, what that plane weighed. This set just crunched into the trees, did nothing. So it took this part of the plane where Ronnie and these guys were at, right to here, and twisted that up this way. So it put Ronnie and Alan and Gary and Kevin Elson up here, Steve and Dean on the bottom. These seat belts broke, shattered, just broke. So Ronnie come down on top of Steve and Dean, and Steve and Dean was against this bulkhead, backed up against that bulkhead. So the force of the impact and Dean Kilpatrick against that table, against that bulkhead, they had no place to go. So he forced the table into him, crushing both of them here in table injuries. And then Ronnie, Alan, and Gary piled on top of him. Ronnie was on top of Steve and Dean. Dean was already dead. Steve was still alive. Ronnie was knocked unconscious immediately. And then Kevin Elson, Alan, and Gary piled on top of Ronnie. He never had a chance to breathe. He died from asphyxiation. That's what killed him. Once he was knocked unconscious, he never breathed. Never had to take a breath. And then Cassie was in, I think, this next seat here. Leslie and Leon was in these, and maybe Billy Powell was in one of these seats, the front seats. And Leslie had some facial injuries and a fractured neck. Billy just had his nose was banged up, and I think he had a fractured leg. And Cassie, it just whiplashed and broke her neck, just severed her neck. She looked like she was, nothing was wrong. I tried to get back, and I did get back. I didn't get back to my seat, but where the plane came apart at was actually back here. And when the impact opened up right here, this tail section went this way. The tail section turned to the right. This tail fin was knocked off back here. This wing was knocked off 50 feet behind the plane back here. This wing was intact and this engine was intact. This wing and this engine was back here 50 feet behind the crash. When it hit this tree right here, the wing hit here, and this tail section fell right behind it. And the fuselage of the tail section twisted this way. It jettisoned me out underneath this very engine that caused all the problems. So nobody knew I was under there. I was completely unconscious and had a massive hole in my head and banged up. So
This is Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. You're listening to American Hearts Radio.
Serving Atlanta since 1998, Massey Gutters understands the challenges specific to our area. Massey Gutters is familiar with all aspects of gutters and roofing. We use only the highest quality materials. With our fully trained and professional staff, you are guaranteed to get quality service and work. References available upon request. Call us today for a free estimate. 404-314-6800. Again, that's 404-314-6800. Call Massey Gutters today. 404-314-6800.
Hi, thank you for choosing the Guitar Station. We've been here for 10 years. We started our 11th year in historic downtown Green Cove Springs on 421 Walnut Street. We do guitar lessons. We do repairs, consignments. We do a lot of stuff. We do guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, mandolin, ukulele, banjo. We do a lot of instruments, but mainly we have fun at the Guitar Station, all ages 8 to 80. So stop by, give us a call at 284-5191. That's 904-284-5191. We love music, so we want to share that with you. Thank you so much, and God bless. Have a great day. Hi, my name's Kurt Town, and I'm in the Kurt Town Band. I've had a lot of people ask me over the years to do a radio show or a web show, and I thought this might be kind of cool. I was approached by America Hearts Radio, and I thought, what a cool opportunity to bring some friends together, and some national acts, international acts, some locals, guys we love jamming with and playing with, and just some cool, entertainment-based stuff, maybe art, whatnot. But anyway, I wanted to know what you thought about that. Is that something you would like for me to do? Is that something you would share on Facebook? Is that something you would share in whatever media form you'd like to? And if that's something you would like me to do, then make a comment on our Facebook page and let me know. So I'll entertain the idea of it. But it would be cool. We'll play maybe some acoustic stuff with my band, have some other bands come in, maybe like West Brooks or the Ivy West Band or something along that nature, and just have a good old time and enjoy the music and our musical heritage, and just have a good time, show off a little bit of talent from the west side and of Jacksonville, Florida, and not necessarily contain it to the west side, although that is, as you know, the best side. So anyway, join us at America Hearts Radio. Thank you so much, and God bless.
With a shotgun in my hand.
Hey everybody, this is Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. You're listening to American Hearts Radio.
American Hearts Radio wants you to be a part of our family. Affordable rates, live worldwide radio broadcasts, live events and web TV show productions. Tune in, you'll like what you hear. Download our apps from Nobix for Android and BlackBerry. We also have apps for Android on Google Play. It's also available on the iPhone and iPad stores. We honor our U.S. troops, veterans, first responders, MIAs, and POWs. We are family-oriented, bringing the hearts of America together by streaming live radio and web TV shows from coast to coast, supporting independent artists and spinning timeless music. We will create commercials for your business that will be placed on live radio shows and web TV daily spins and reruns, as well as creating the graphics that will appear on all social networks and our website. As a supporter of our radio web TV network, you will be invited on our local web TV shows in Atlanta, Georgia to promote your business. You will also receive free tickets to any other live event that American Hearts Radio LLC produces. In comparison to traditional advertising, our rates are very affordable and offer a larger audience. Every client's advertising plan should include a way to drive potential buyers to your website. And AmericanHeartsRadio.com does exactly that. Be a part of our family, bringing the hearts of America together. Please contact us. We thank you for your support. Become a part of our family of supporters today. Call 904-229-8150. That's 904-229-8150. Call today at 904-229-8150. Please visit us at www.americanheartsradio.com.